Time for Twins Pod. Yeah.
So I never met Dana White. What could you say about him? What is he like?
One of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. He's so intelligent. The way his brain thinks. I mean, the guy is just such a business-minded guy, and he's trying to find the next, edge and the next business that he can build up. So, he just started his new league, the Power Slap, and now that's like one of the most viral things on the internet.
The people slapping the shit out of each other?
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting into that too?
He owns that. Yeah, him and, Hunter Campbell. Yeah. That's his company.
He started that?
He started that. Yeah.
Man, see, that's why I like white people. They always thinking, man. Oh, my God, I'm seeing all the clips that I'm like, man, this is some barbaric ass. Yeah. And Dana White's behind it?
Dana White's behind it.
Oh, my God. That is so awesome, man. Yeah. You know what? A lot of politicians, they play sides. They play, it's like psychological warfare with them, especially among my people, the Negro, right? Like, they always tell Negroes, black people.
Man, would you stop saying Negroes?
Well, that's what we are, a Negro. Right? That there's a wage gap between blacks and whites. Yeah. But they failed to mention that there's a wage gap between blacks and everybody else.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Yeah, Latinos, even the illegal immigrants in the country, they're doing better than black people in this country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is really sad, but
yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it.
They're doing better than the veterans, too. They're giving them, 10K, 1,000 handouts in those sanctuary cities in New York and whatnot.
Man, it's in Chicago, they closed a bunch of black high schools and public schools in black neighborhoods, right?
Yeah. So they didn't have money for it.
They didn't have the money for it. Yeah. Now they're opening back up, housing the illegal immigrants there.
And giving them credit cards, what, $15,000?
Yeah, taking away resources from actual citizens.
Yeah.
And it's so... I'm lost for words because black people run and vote for these people.
Yeah.
They're taking away resources from you. And it's like, I don't know what to say.
Should be a landslide next election.
Wait till the mail-in ballots come in.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen this next election?
Well, you've seen they just passed in 42 out of the 50 states that you don't have to have voter ID to vote. So all these illegal immigrants, 15 million probably that have came in this country right now. And then in the next 6 months until November, how many more are going to come in? 5 to 10 million more. So we're up against, 25 million votes that are just going to be, accounted for. And we know they're only going for the Democratic side.
And it's so odd because we went out to vote and I pulled out my ID. And they said, oh, you don't need that. I'm like, what? You don't need an ID to vote? I was like, man, this is one of our most precious rights. You got to make sure and verify it's no fraud.
Yeah.
And we had JFK Jr. on our show about a week ago, and we asked him about that. But he was telling us that a lot of their voters
in the South, he said black, older, like grandma and grandpa, they don't have IDs.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you not have ODs? You have to have an ID to go to get liquor. You have to go have an ID to get on a plane.
That's what I'm telling them. It's like they don't know how to go out and get an ID, but they should be allowed to vote.
I think it's a conflict of interest.
For sure. If you don't have an ID, you shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Right.
You don't have a brain.
If you don't have ID to buy alcohol, you shouldn't be able to vote.
Yeah, no.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
So what you got coming up in the future? You got any fights or?
Yeah, I'm gonna fight this summer for sure. Someone's gonna get fought. So they're trying to figure out who the biggest name and the best business that we can do for the UFC. So International Fight Week is like their big event in the summer that the UFC does. That they have like a big festival all week and big events that they set up, and it's capped off by this big pay-per-view on Saturday. So I think that's when they're planning for me is International Fight Week. Just trying to figure out who's gonna be the guy.
Yeah. You got anybody in your sights yet, or
who's your biggest beef right now?
Yeah, I mean, I got unfinished business with my last fight. Leon Edwards, the guy that has the title right now. I broke my foot in the first, 5 seconds of the fight. I threw a kick. It broke in 3 different places. So that wasn't me that night. So whoever I have to go through to get
that was
back
your last
him,
fight, right?
That was my last fight. Yeah, in December. So
I noticed because I watch your fights more often. I see you like to instigate the fight.
You charge.
You was laid back. I was like, he's trying a different approach. Now I understand why.
Yeah, I was compromised from the first second. I threw a high kick, landed on his elbow, broke in 3 different places, and then I was on 1 foot, and I was just kind of backpedaling. I couldn't implement my game plan, which is go forward, put the pressure on, and make it a dogfight because that's where I thrive at.
So you fought the entire fight with a broken fucking foot?
25 minutes with a broken foot, man. Nasty.
That's what I call white privilege.
Damn it. You gotta have a high tolerance for pain to do something like that. Did it hurt or was it just
I remember the end of the first round, I went back to my coaches, and they were like, sit down. I was like, dude, I'm not sitting down in the chair because my foot, I can't put any pressure on. I'm just going to stay standing, and hopefully, you know, I'll just be able to, you know, work through it these next couple rounds. But they knew something was up. They were like, this isn't how you fight, Colby. Like, you go forward, all camp, you've been walking guys down, knocking people out, putting the pressure on, and now you're just backpedaling and you know, and not afraid to engage. But, you know, I couldn't move. I couldn't plant because that was my back foot. It was my left foot, and that's my plant foot that I'm planting off of, jabbing and everything. So,
you're more like a attack fighter, but in that fight you was like countering to whatever mistake you could leech onto. But so is he probably gonna be your next fight?
No, I'm gonna probably have to fight someone else to get back to him. So, whoever, there's this kid that's been calling me out. You know, this kid Ian Gary. He's a nobody. You know, I gave him some stipulations. I said, hey, man, if you want to fight me, you have to show me you're serious about business because when I do business, I'm serious about it. Like, I show up to every fight. I've never pulled out of one fight. I've been injured. I've been sick. I've been, you know, this, that. But I always show up and do my business because I love the UFC. It's the greatest organization on the world. So he has to show me he's serious. He was supposed to be in the last fight in the press conference. He pulls out the day of the press conference because he knew I was going to be on stage and we were going to have, you know, some beef. So that shows me that he's not serious.
He didn't want you talking about his mama. You got too many skeletons in the club. You go.
Yeah. See, look at this. Look at this X-ray. That's, you see where it's broken?
Yeah.
3 different spots.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The midfoot fracture, cuneo, median cuneiform bone. 3 different breaks on that bone, and I had to fight the whole fight, like 25 minutes in a world title fight, in the biggest moment and spot of my life, and I'm on one leg. You know.
If the ref would have known, they would have called the fight, huh?
Potentially, yeah. If I would have said something, oh, it's broken, they would have called it for sure. Those commissions are serious, so.
Yeah. So. Did you ever think, like, maybe I should just, you know, take the KO and just.
Nah.
It's not in your mentality, huh?
You know, Trump was there front row, and, you know, I wanted to set an example for him, you know, and that was why I didn't want to come out after the fight and be like, make excuses, like, oh, it's because the broken foot, you know. I swallowed it. I swallowed it with my pride, and I was like, you know what, on to the next, you know, and I wanted to also know for facts that it was actually broken because in that moment, you're like, it could be swollen, could be broken. Let me get the x-rays and find out first. So, you know, in that moment, I was just honestly thinking of people like you, people that are military that, man, there's no days off for military. Oh, they have a hurt foot. They're still going to war. They're still going on the front lines. Like there's no war is, you know, it's there's no rules in war. Like if you're hurt, injured, doesn't matter. No one's gonna feel sorry for you. No excuses, no sympathy.
There's a saying. What is it? It's a metaphor. You play with the hand that you're dealt. Don't complain. A lot of people complain just because everything's not going perfect for them. They play the victim.
Yeah.
If everybody had your mentality, I mean, there would be no such thing as a Democrat. It wouldn't be, man, because they prey on people's ignorance and they turn everybody into victims.
Yeah. I know you've been a loud proponent for Trump, Republicans, and conservatism. Have you seen any drawback from that, or have you been censored, or have you lost sponsorships or anything like that because of your?
Yeah, big time, man. Yeah. Social media, as soon as I made my header picture with Donald Trump when he invited me to the White House and I went in the Oval Office and got a picture with him when I won my world title back in 2016. I think it was 2016 or 2018. But as soon as I put that picture up, they completely took me out of the algorithm, censored me completely. Like I had 1 million followers at that time. In the last 5 years, they haven't let me get 1 follower since that picture.
My Instagram is doing the exact same thing. I stay right at 2.5. I can't go up or down. I go down, I can go back up, but it stays right there the same.
Yeah.
And I used to get like 30. I remember when we was doing posts very regularly, and I was getting like millions of views every reel. We was getting around 15, 20,000 new followers, and then one night we just went and just cut off overnight. Same thing with Facebook. We had over like 6 million followers. We was I forget the media outlet that wrote a story about us. We was getting more views than Fox, CNN, the 3 biggest networks. Facebook page.
Wow.
And then it just stopped overnight.
Yeah.
It just stopped overnight. So.
Zuckerberg, man.
Yeah, it's insane, right? Imagine if I'm a Biden supporter and I go to the White House and I lose sponsorships over that.
Yeah.
And then you got these sports teams that win titles and then they don't go to the White House because Trump is the president.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people just lost their damn mind.
They lost their mind.
Yeah. Back to Dana White. Bud Light, you know the controversy about that.
Yeah, of course.
And then Dana White, I think they're like a sponsor now for the UFC. I think it was 150 million or something like that.
Yeah. I'd have charged him $1 billion. You want to be a sponsor? $1 billion.
We can have it back.
And I want an apology for what you did. That's what Dana White should have did.
Yeah,
well, it's still $150 million for UFC.
Yeah, no, man, he should have got $1 billion. He could have got at least $2 billion.
But they going out of business. What are you talking about?
No, he could have got $1 billion. They desperate right now. They trying to sell that beer.
What do you think about that decision to let him back as a sponsor for the UFC? I was conflicted about it myself.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's above my pay grade. That's up to the UFC. That's up to Dana White. Whatever's good for business for them is, I'm a company man. I love the company, so I'm going to stand with them and ride with them. Obviously, if I was the head, I obviously wouldn't stand for that with what they did with the Dylan Mulvaney stuff and just really a slap in the face to all, God-loving Americans. So I don't agree with it, but, it's their business.
What pissed me off about the whole Bud Light, I mean, you can be a Democrat company and still be a sponsor for UFC, but it's just you targeting a person who's going after the children. You're brainwashing kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. The majority of his audience is on TikTok. I think he has like 7 million followers. Majority of those are probably under 18 years old.
Yeah.
That's what I didn't like about it. I didn't care that they sponsored him. If he was like, let's say somebody that had an audience that's a lot older, there wouldn't have been a problem with me. I've been like, I'm just not drinking. I'm not going to support your brand. Been into that. But when you're after kids and you're trying to normalize this stuff.
Amongst kids. It's not even normal amongst adults, but they're trying to normalize it amongst kids. That's why I draw a line. Hey! I used to like a white guy. Hey! We got these Jeep Wrangler, Rubicon, 20, 24, 37-inch tires, 18-inch wheels. Y'all know why we do this, right? Why? Not just because we're just great black guys, because we're giving back. Yeah, we used to give thousands of dollars each month advertising our giveaways on Facebook, and all they was doing was censors. I said, no, I'm not doing that. Let me talk. I said, I ain't doing that no more. I'm going to incentivize the people that support us. That's why we give back. We gave back how much? About $2 million in trucks and cash? Yeah, something like that. Man, it's a bunch. Go to officialhodgetwins.com. Anything you buy from the site, get you automatically entered to win. Yeah. No purchase necessary. Forward where prohibited. See official rules for details. Yeah.